Hey y'all, you're watching Portie's Garage. Well, it's only been a couple of days of having this 76 Granada here sitting in my driveway, and thinking about tearing it apart, I almost feel bad. I mean, I think this was a pretty sweet rod back in the day, or at least at one point. So I think what I want to do is sort of do a little memorialization or a tribute to this car, everything that it's going to give to the Falcon. So what I'm thinking, take this whole front clip right here, turn it into some sweet garage art. Let's give it a shot. So what it's looking like here is we've got a couple of bolts here holding it to the frame in the front, obviously some holding it to the fenders up here, and then some bumper supports down here. I think that might be it. We also have some light wiring to deal with, and I'm planning on getting a 120 volt 12 volt transformer so I can light the lights up while it's hanging on the wall. So no sense in waiting around, let's get to it. So here's how she sits. I've got everything just kind of hanging out, set in place. Now is the part where I need to get creative. What do you think, Kev? Gotta somehow affix these all to each other. I'm assuming it's going to end up with some sort of wooden solution, but let me ruminate on it and we'll get back to it. So I'm not filming this whole thing because I'm making it up as I go along. But basically, I'm trying to get it to the correct shape, tape it down, and then I can start fastening it in there. Kevin's supervising. Hey, buddy. Hey, buddy. So let's see where this gets us. Now, believe me when I tell you, it looks really good if you squint. But I now have this upper part secured to the chrome piece, and she's pretty sturdy. Now, trying to figure out how to affix this front end and these two little side pieces. But it's really not looking too bad. You can see where it originally fit, because there's a line of dirt that I didn't get to power wash off of it, but that's kind of how I'm fitting these guys. Should be something more like that, but keep on keeping on. All right. Kev and I are calling it a day. I did put this piece of angle iron up here, which I was trying to do this using only stuff I scavenged from around the house, but I did have to go and get that. I'm thinking I can kind of do some sort of vertical support. Comes in down here, affixes to that, and then maybe build it out a little more. And if I could cut out a piece of plywood to hit these studs, the holes on these little bottom pieces. I've got the top hooked to the bottom. The bottom's all hooked together. These little corner pieces hooked in, and then that plywood should be a nice sturdy thing for me to put any hooks into, hang it from the wall. So calling it for today. Mosquitoes are coming out. We'll get back to it soon. Here's how we're looking now. I got the top piece connected to the bottom assembly here. Super professional. Don't worry about it, guys. And everything's lining up pretty nicely, if I do say so myself. Next thing I'm planning on doing, this could be a little bit better, but I'll get that when I do this next part. Plywood. I'm gonna do 2 plywood sheets on either side, cut out the holes for the lights, and then that should really, because right now this top part's just being held on by this, that should really hold things together. So let's get her done. Got my little template here cut out. I'm gonna trace it onto the plywood and we'll cut a test one. And here we go, one side done. This bottom part kind of hangs a little weird, so I gotta push it in place. The only weird thing I did was I had to countersink these holes because the little stud sticks out a little bit. Hard to see, but yeah, let's get this side on and see how we're looking. Here's how we're looking with one side fully assembled. Could clean up the edges a little bit, but you know, that's for later. And then I did pop 2 screws right over here to kind of affix this upper part to the lower part. I think it's looking pretty good. Hopefully the lights fit. I will find that out later. That bottom one might be a little tricky, but upper one's good. I've already got my other side traced out here. Mirror image of this side. Let's get that cut and throw her on. And there we go. She's standing on her own weight and is looking pretty dang good, if I do say so myself. What do you think, Kev? Kev agrees. Next, fun part, getting some electricals working here. But it is getting kind of dark, so I think I'm gonna call it a day and get back to her tomorrow. Picked up a cheap old 12 volt AC DC converter. That'll be our powerhouse. And then I did go ahead and just snip off the ends for the lights. Sorry for anyone who's looking for a wiring harness for 76 Granada. I'm mutilating it, but it's all serves a purpose. So I'm gonna wire this up, see probably a little bit of guessing and checking, and then we'll see if we can get her lit up. Okay, we got a little test environment set up. I just got them twisted together in the meantime for trying testing, I guess. Hard to see, but we've got blacks for the neutral. Red, I believe, is the hot for the low beams, and then browns for the indicator. This blue and white looks like a turn signal type of thing, so we're ignoring that. Ignoring the green for the high beams. Same over here. There were a couple of little jumpers around, but we're ignoring some, plugging some in. I think it's time to plug everything in, see if we start a fire or get some lights. Here goes nothing. Got headlight on, indicator. I really can't tell if something in there is lighting up or not. Maybe I shouldn't have plugged these in. No, this guy definitely isn't lighting up. There's a lower light right down here. It's just brown and black. I don't know why that wouldn't be lighting up. Is the bulb dead? Well, apparently it was working. It was just too bright to see. And unfortunately, in my mission to get the other one out, where did it go? Bulb came apart. So I will have to pick up a new one of these anyways. But the good news is we know our wiring's working. So I can actually go through and start crimping these ends together, get a little more of a profesh setup going. Here we go, wires all connected, nice and cleaned up. I just zip tied that up there. I'm kind of disappointed it doesn't have any like mounting brackets. I'd like to screw it into something. Same for the other side, had to make a couple of loops here and there, no big deal. But all the wiring worked. We've got upper, lower, headlight, upper, and this guy that needs a bulb. Unfortunately, super bright out here. I'm gonna have to find somewhere else to see where this will actually work. I don't have much room in the garage. This might be getting upgraded to a basement bar artwork. And before I bring it in, I had to do a quick little chrome clean. Here's the dirty side. Here's the clean side. Ignore all the scrapes and scuffs. That's just part of the patina. But we don't need any actual dirt and grime on here. So I'll finish this up and then we'll see this in a darker environment. And at long last, here's the final reveal. feel like that's blinding the camera. We'll see how that looks. Yeah, I'm thinking this turned out wicked awesome. This is the future site of my basement bar. Not quite done yet, but once it is, this baby's going up there. We'll have to figure out exactly how I'm going to mount it on the wall. I've seen a lot of people use like the shelf hangers with the 2 prongs and a bracket. Maybe I could kind of sneak those under here, hold it from the top. We'll see when I get there. Still got a lot of work to do down here. But yeah, pretty sweet. Well, that was actually pretty fun. Got a little something to hang down in the basement down here, and I do get to commemorate all the sacrifices that the Granada is giving to the Falcon. A lot of people are probably going to ask, hey Taylor, why didn't you do this the normal way and just slice off and keep the firewall support and everything? Main reason, the hood. It's not rusty. I feel sacrilegious destroying a not rusty, kind of rarer-ish body panel, especially living up here in Michigan. And secondly, weight, you know, all that metal really is going to add up. I'm sure my wood structure here isn't super light. It's actually not, I can tell you from carrying it downstairs, but it's better than the opposite. So that'll do it for today. One of these days, I swear, I'm going to actually start working on the cars instead of screwing around and doing these little one-off projects. But stay tuned, more is coming.